welcome back to our Friday videos. Thanks so much for joining us. For today's video, we are making homemade paint and paintbrushes. So we've got some really cool stuff that you can take from home and make into cool paintbrushes, as well as some easy, edible, non-toxic paint. So for this recipe for our paint, you're gonna need some regular flour, some salt, some water, and then you're gonna need some food coloring to dye your paint. So we've already prepared the paint in the bowl here. So we've mixed a cup of flour, a cup of salt, and a cup of room temperature water. You don't want it too hot because then it'll cook the flour, and then you want it too cold because you want to be able to melt the salt. So once you add the flour and the salt together, you're gonna give that a whisk, and then you're gonna add your cup of water, and then you're gonna stir that in together until it's smooth and until the salt has dissolved. So it should look like that. Looks kind of gross. But it's really cool because it's non-toxic, it's edible. It looks kind of like it should look like pancake mix almost, but be smooth and not have any lumps of salt. So once you have it mixed, then we poured it into individual bowls like so, and we have some yellow, pink, blue, and green. You can use whatever food coloring dye you have at home, or you could use different fruit jellies or other things you have at home that might have some color in it that's still edible, that you can use to dye your paint coloring, or they could just paint with it plain. So we're gonna also show you how you can mix different food coloring colors together to make a different color, because kids will really enjoy being able to mix different colors together to make purple and orange, and kind of use that chance to experiment with the colors and show them, oh, I wonder if I add 2 drops of green and 2 drops of yellow, what it makes, or if I add, you know, a couple drops of red and yellow or green, what colors do they make? And just kind of giving them that chance to experiment and really just play around with the colors and the textures. All right, so for this one, we are going to mix some red, mix a couple drops of red and a couple drops of blue to try and make purple. So give your kids a chance to add how many drops they want, because the more drops you have, the more vibrant the colors, and they'll change. And then let them stir. And then once you've added that, you can see it makes our purple. And then you can give them a chance to add other colors and see if it changes the purple at all, or if it makes it darker or lighter, and really use descriptive words when you're describing it, and really kind of help with that language there. So then we're gonna mix red and yellow. A couple of drops of red. Couple drops of yellow to make our orange. We're gonna kind of stir it up like so. All right, so we can see that 2 drops of red and 2 drops of yellow might not have been enough to make our orange. So let's try and add a couple more drops of yellow and see if we can get it more orange. And then kind of ask your kids, well, I wonder if we added more drops of yellow, if this would help, or should we add more drops of red? Ask questions, ask what they think. So we'll give this a good stir and mix it up. And there we have our orange. Cool, right? So super easy paint. Like I said, this can be used with fingers, for babies, for finger painting. This is really non-toxic, it's edible. Probably doesn't taste that great because there's salt and flour, but you have no worries in knowing that it's not gonna be harmful in any way. Plus, it's a really fun sensory experience for kids to be able to feel things with their hands and kind of play and experiment and get messy. You don't have to worry about wasting any ingredients, like when making cookies or things. You're like, oh, if this batch turns out bad, then I wasted all this stuff. Well, it's okay because it's just finger paint. So it's okay if it doesn't come out exactly like we want it to because we're just playing with it. So don't worry about getting messy. The messier, the better. So we also have some really cool paint brushes to show you guys. So for the paint brushes, we've used different things, different materials around the house. So we have some fabric, different types of fabric, pom-poms, yarn, foam, sponge, anything you have like that at home, you can attach to the end of a popsicle stick with some hot glue or some regular glue or tape, anything you have at home to attach it. You could also use a plastic utensil like a spoon or fork or a knife like this one. Just make sure you tape the edge. And then you're just gonna attach it and have different types of textures. So this is kind of like a mesh material. And then you've got a sponge one, yarn, and then we've got like some tissue paper. And just have fun and let the kids pick what kind of materials that they want to use and kind of have fun and see, when I use this texture, what does that look like? Well, when I use this, let them guess, have a good kind of cause and effect moment and see when I use this, what happens. So we're gonna show you a couple examples of what that could look like. So I'm gonna dip my sponge paintbrush in the paint. And we're gonna let the paint kind of go on and look at the texture from that. Voila! So it'll look different depending on the color and depending on the texture. Kind of experiment, like I said, and use different types of materials and different ones. You could even use Q-tips at home for painting. That's super easy. We'll show you with the orange here. You kind of make different circles or shapes. Like that. And then whatever kind of materials you want to use, pipe cleaners, anything, like I said, you have that at home. It could be old t-shirts, old towels, things like that. Like I said, go nuts, use different colors, different textures, and just see what they look like. It's a fun learning experience. It's also a fun way to teach measurements, to be able to add stuff and mix stuff and add a little bit more, and kind of talk about those bigger and smaller and more or less, those kinds of words and those kinds of measurements without needing to be exact, because it's an experiment. The more you add, the less you add, it's going to change the product. So then we have a chance to talk about why you think that happened, or do you think we need more, and really kind of talk about what's going on in those kind of questions. So thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you guys watching our videos every week. We hope that you have fun with this activity, and let us know how it works if you liked it. And we'll attach the recipes and the pictures of things with the video. Feel free to take a look at those. We'll attach them with the video, and they'll be available on our website. As always, have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye, guys.